Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Q1 Humphreys, and I know I'm a little bit late. I know I'm about a day late or so, but I definitely wanted to come on here and talk about what we witnessed a couple nights ago between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, since this is not an immediate reaction to the game, I'm not going to go down and talk about my thoughts on the game in an entirety. I'm just going to give a couple of key points that I took from the game and that I would like to share with you all. Number one, the Buffalo Bills Josh Allen has evolved a lot as a player along with the Buffalo Bills as a team. Josh Allen we're yet to see what he does against Kansas City next week in the AFC Championship. But he looks like he's playing winning football. He looks like he's playing winning football again. Or not again, but he's playing winning football. Football that you can win a championship with. And when I say that, I mean as in he's went from this rash and erratic decision maker to calculated with what he does. And I look at the last couple of playoff games for Josh Allen. They said in his last 4 playoff games, he has 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And last night, he only had 143 yards. I don't know if it was just passing or if it was all purpose, but Josh Allen only had 143 yards. And that sounds like it's not real. That sounds like it is a lie. It's a joke. Because we know Josh Allen, he's a guy that's going to throw the ball 1,000 yards down the field. He's going to run the ball a lot. But last night, he played the way they needed to win the game. He didn't force the ball into turnover. He didn't try to do too much with his legs and put the ball on the ground. He just did what he had to do to win the game. And the truth of the matter is, I think, and a big part of him winning that game was the blunders by the Baltimore Ravens. But, the Josh Allen of old wouldn't have capitalized off of what the Ravens did. He would not have capitalized off of the fumble by Lamar Jackson in the second quarter. He may have capitalized, but he might have given them another shot at the end with a turnover of his own. But last night, he didn't do that. And he's playing winning football now, and I'm really excited to see what he does next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. And as far as the MVP debate goes, before the game, I had Josh Allen. After the game, I still have Josh Allen because, the season he's had, he's playing really well. They're winning games. The MVP usually goes to the best player on one of the best teams, or in most cases, the quarterback on one of the best teams. And Josh Allen has them boys. They were number 2 coming out of the AFC, and he's looked like the man. Moving on to the Ravens, man, they did it again. They've done it again. They've lost another playoff game where they were the better team. You look at last year in the AFC Championship against the Kansas City Chiefs, they were the better team coming into that game and they lost. You look at them tonight or last night against the Buffalo Bills, they were the better team and they lost. And I think that is just kind of the story of this Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens, I would guess, tenure. They lost many games where you would say they were the best team, where you would say they played 10 times, they would win at least 7 of those games. Last year, they got punched in the mouth by a Kansas City offense and then had a few costly turnovers and lost that game. This year, they had costly turnovers early. And then, obviously the fumble by Mark Andrews and the drop by Mark Andrews on the 2-point conversion. But, as much as we want to put this on Mark Andrews, and it is, on Mark Andrews, he did drop that pass and fumble that ball in the fourth quarter. But I feel like you should have played a better game, so it doesn't come down to that. And, that's a tough pill for Ravens fans and Lamar Jackson fans to swallow. But y'all lost this game because of yourselves. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I putting this game on Lamar Jackson, because the mistakes he made in the first half, he definitely made up for that with his play, especially on that last drive of the game. But it just felt like they let it fall through their fingers. You know, no pun intended with the Mark Andrews drop and the Mark Andrews fumble. But they just let it fall through their fingers, and it's like, of course you want to point the fingers at Mark Andrews, but I mean, man, there's a potential that they're not even in that position if they don't have such a bad first half. You know, third quarter they dominated. They dominated the third quarter, and you know, another thing in hindsight you could look at is, could they have just kicked the extra point on the touchdown before? That would have made the score 20-21. And with the 2 field goals, would have made it 27-20. And then, you know, you score that touchdown and you kick an extra point, you go to overtime. You know what I'm saying? So it is just, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to see this team just lose another big one. You know, and I feel for the Baltimore Ravens fans. I feel for the Lamar Jackson fans, because this one probably hurt more than others. You know, this is a year where, you know, you felt like you had everything you needed. You go and get a Derrick Henry, who I believe should have got the ball a lot more in this game. I understand they was down, but Derrick Henry should have gotten the ball more in this game. I think he only had 16 carries. You know, this is a guy that's been getting 25-plus carries for majority of this season. At least 20-plus carries for majority of the season outside, I want to say, week 1. You got him for a reason. Don't run away from your identity. Same thing happened last year. They did not run the ball as much as they needed to, as they wanted to, as they usually did. In the AFC Championship, they ended up losing. Stick to what got you there. Lamar, the run game and your defense is what got you to the dance. You know? And it's tough. It's just tough, but I want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, man. I like them. I like them. Now, as much as the Ravens lost that game, the Bills won the game as well. They made the plays they needed to make. They made the plays. You know, they won off of a drop, but the forced fumble, because that was a forced fumble. You know, on Mark Andrews, and the first half that they put together, just really not really doing a good job of taking the Baltimore offense out of the game. They did a really good job in the first half, and they just kind of weathered the storm and just held on for dear life in that third quarter, fourth quarter to win the game. Going up against a tough Kansas City Chiefs team that they beat earlier this season. I think they have a valid reason to think they'll beat them again. I think so. I think this Buffalo defense is gonna play very well. Josh Allen, I talked about how today he was kind of a game manager, but I think he's still that man. Josh Allen is still that man. I think he's gonna be that man again next week. But man, I'm stunned. Even a day later, I'm stunned, man. I'm stunned. You know, even the Commanders. My previous video before this, the Commanders knocking off the Lions. So we're gonna have a Commanders and Eagles, because the Eagles beat the Rams as well yesterday. We're going to have a NFC West NFC Championship. Like, who thought that would happen? You know, I never in 1,000 years thought that would happen, but here we are. So I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited for next week, Championship Sunday. Should be very, very fun, very, very exciting. I'm interested to see what you all think. Let me know in the comment section. Is it strictly on Mark Andrews, or is it strictly on, you know, or was it a collective effort, you know? And also let me know who you got between the Bills and the Chiefs, as well as the Eagles and the Rams. But until next time, man, going for 2, Q1 Humphreys. I am out of here. Yeah.